Off the leash, off and running. Week 11 in the books for the Cleveland Browns. Mark Schwab, Leah Doherty, Ashley Holder with you.
Hello.
For the big fun share, the big program. Special guest in the studio today. The Chief is with us.
Welcome.
The Joker's here? I don't know.
Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas.
Chief.
You're the chief first.
Look, I'm honored to be here, and I want to just start this off by saying I'm so glad you guys do this because I am first. I mean, I'm a meteorologist first, weather nerd, but I'm also a lifelong Cleveland sports fan, and I'm always looking for more post-Browns game content.
Thank you so much.
Information.
So you are one of our downloads.
Hold on a second. Win or lose. A lot of times you want more info when they lose.
Right.
Yes.
But also it's great to get information and takes and people's opinions and, new stuff when we win too. So I really I'm so happy that you guys are doing this. I hope you're having fun with it. It sounds
Appreciate
like you are.
it. Yeah.
So
I love what I've heard so far, and I'm glad I can stop by here for a few moments.
All right,
Honor to sit in the studio.
We
here.
always we always start with a true-false question of the week. You can join in.
Yes.
True-false question of the week. Joe Flacco will be the Browns' starting quarterback before Christmas.
Jason, what do you think?
Oh, true, for sure. Yeah, I think he will be. I don't want him necessarily to be. I just think the Browns perhaps know something that we don't know. That DTR, I mean, he did the best he could. He balled out yesterday. That was a beautiful thing. We'll talk, I'm sure, more about that. But I think you bring him in as certainly a safety net and as an insurance policy. Should something happen or should he not progress? I will say true. I hope it's not true, but I'll say true.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say true as well. I mean, right now, what the Browns are saying, the reason for bringing him in is to have a veteran in that quarterback room, right? Because Deshaun Watson is going to be getting his surgery, I believe, in LA, they were saying, and so he's going to be doing his rehab there. And so you don't want him flying back and forth right after surgery, rehab, so you need that veteran voice in there, someone that's been there, right? Someone that's won a ring, someone that knows what he's doing, can speak to experience. So I think primarily that's why they're bringing him in. They're saying as of now is to have someone to kind of coach up DTR, but I think inevitably I see him starting as well.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think I'll say true. Piggybacking off of what Leah said, the only thing that I'm going against is I think that's like I think what they're saying is a crock of crap. Like, nah, if you wanted a veteran quarterback, you would have did that. I understand Deshaun Watson's been in the league, but Deshaun Watson has been struggling as well. We haven't seen what he was in Houston, right?
Right.
So I feel like if you wanted that kind of big name veteran quarterback, whatever, you would have brought that guy in. I think what they did is they did the best with what they have right now. They didn't do anything before the trade deadline. They have no option to get anybody else. So it sounds good to say because, yeah, Joe Flacco is Joe Flacco for who he was with the Baltimore Ravens, right? He was great there. It's been a long time. He's 38 years old. He's not shifting in the pocket. He's not moving now. He's not running for first downs. Yes, he's a guy that has been in the league and he knows what he's doing. So of course, I think that leadership helps. But I think it really just comes down to that's all they could do.
That's it.
That's really all they could do.
There wasn't anyone.
Joe Flacco.
There wasn't. Anyone they could go get really. I mean, Matt Ryan he's calling games.
He's in the booth, yeah.
He's in the booth.
Rivers just had his 10th kid.
Yeah, those guys aren't there, and those are the kind of names to talk about.
RG3 was ready to step in, man.
I'll tell you what,
And he ain't any better.
No, and I mean, they clearly have a type. They like a guy that can use his legs. Walker, to a degree, certainly DTR, and Griffin fits that type, but they obviously want to go Flacco. I'm going to begrudgingly say true on this because I just think they're going to, again, this is where we're going to shift the conversation to DTR. They did not let him throw the ball down the field. He had 2 completions of more than 10 yards, and they were like,
and he threw
14.
the ball 43 times.
I know.
He threw it a lot.
Like, that is the Now, maybe, here's the thing. Maybe that's because it was his first start, and they were playing the Steelers, and you got to get it out quick because Watt's
Second
over there,
start.
and there's something to be, well, first, you're right, second, but first kind of.
Yeah,
where he
I get
actually
it. Yeah.
Time to
And
prep.
there is something to be said for it's the Steelers, it's that matchup, Watt on a bad offensive line. That's all true. And if they let him open it up next week, okay, but I don't know if they let him open it up.
The issue is that you can't just like brush over that. That was not a good Steelers team. That wasn't high competition that he played against, and that does matter at the end of the day. So I think if you put him up against some kind of at least better competition than that and see what he does, then okay, but that just wasn't. I mean, I think it was good for his second start for where he came from that first
Right.
week when he started with the Ravens. But it just was tough because they weren't good.
Well, I think the bigger question is how long can you keep playing it safe with DTR and relying on the fact that the defense is going to win you games, right?
That was the worst offense they may face. The Bengals offense might be pretty bad. Sorry, Mark.
Jake Browning is...
Yeah. But they had the benefit of playing that offense. And Kenny Pickett, I mean, keep the Steelers, please keep bringing him out.
Mark could go all day long on this.
I was hoping for a tie.
He is terrible.
They bring Pickett out, and he throws 3 straight incompletions to Deontay Johnson that weren't even close, took 20 seconds off the clock, gave the Browns a chance to get it back and make that final game-winning drive.
Instead of just running the ball, which was the only thing that was working for them, which is insane. They went completely away from what was working for them the entire game.
Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett make a great duo, and we're glad to have them in the division. But the bottom line is, they're gonna face tougher teams. But Pittsburgh's defense is still very good, and I'm sure it was pounded into DTR's head all week. Do not turn the ball over. Do not turn the ball over. And guess what? If you don't throw it downfield and you're doing checkdowns all game, you're not going to throw it, turn the ball over much. They may unleash him a little bit more on Sunday in Denver. I don't think much. I mean, I think you're going to see a lot more of the same. Now, Njoku had 15 targets and dropped how many balls? 4 balls.
Oh my gosh.
So he's going to catch those, you would think. And, that's about all you can hope to do. I think there's nothing better as a lifelong Browns fan to be in a city when the Browns are relevant. My wife and I thought about maybe going to the game yesterday. I'm like, let's just watch it out. We went out to a neighborhood bar restaurant, and the place is packed with Browns fans at about 1:45. And my wife nudges me. She's not from here. She's from Southern California. And she goes, well, where aren't they going to go to the game? I go, no, they're out to watch the game. And she goes, what do you mean? I've never seen this in Cleveland.
That's because you live in L.A.
And I go, well, she's lived in Cleveland, and she's never seen it because the Browns have not been relevant. And look, this is a Browns town. Okay, I'm a Cavs fan. I'm a Guardians fan. But this city, when the Browns are winning,
they run the ship.
There's nothing like it. And it is just, look, whatever happens. I get it. The odds are against us here for making a big run with our quarterback situation, but it's fun. And boy, to see that yesterday, I did not think we had a chance at the end of that game in the third and fourth quarter when we couldn't move the ball positive yardage.
Whenever Kenny Pickett's out on the field, you have a chance.
We got lucky there. But, you look at the schedule. I'm never a schedule guy. I hate playing that game. You just don't know. The Texans now, what did we think the Texans were a month ago? That's a win. Now
even
the Texans are really good. The Broncos are on a winning streak. That's going to be an insanely tough game. So, I don't like to play the schedule game, but if this team somehow gets to 10 wins, 11 wins, I think you're looking pretty.
Well, and the point you mentioned about the fans too, we were talking about that a little bit yesterday in the 5th quarter, that Browns teams we've seen in the past would have folded in these circumstances. That's what Josh Cribbs, Eric Metcalf were saying yesterday. They said fans aren't used to seeing this Browns team overcome the adversity that they have. You think Nick Chubb, they're done. How are they going to come back from that? Deshaun Watson, how are they going to come back from that? The guys they've lost on the O-line, how are they going to come back from that? And they keep finding ways to win, and that's a huge credit to Kevin Stefanski, who I don't think gets enough credit for how level-headed he's remained in all of this.
Is he going to get extended? Do we think here?
So he's got 2 years. If he were up after next season, I think they'd talk about extending him, but he's got 2 years. I believe he's got 2 years left. And if that's the case, I don't know if you need to, but I mean, he's in the conversation. I mean, I'm not going to put this on the table now, but they run off another couple. He's in the talk for Coach of the Year. The guy's had a bucket of slop under center.
That was my preseason pick for Coach of the Year.
Was he really?
You remember, was him. Not that we saw what was coming.
I mean, Stefanski and his group, they did a great job. They drew up a game plan that said this is how we're going to have to attack this team, and it worked pretty well the first half.
Oh, it was a beautiful first half.
And then the second half, I mean, you can only do this so long, dink and dunk. But to DTR's credit, he made throws at the end of the game. Yeah. They got him. He got no help from his tight end. We talked about that. Stefanski and his coaches, A+ to them. They did a great job yesterday, and they get a win.
I think no matter what, when it comes down to it, and I know we'll talk about it some more on this podcast, when you have that defense, no matter what, you can't count them out. I honestly think that through the rest of these games, I'm always going to give them a chance because of the defense, and that's where it starts. That, and to me, I will say this too, I think that's where it ends too. No matter what, it comes down to that defense every time, and they will always have a shot because of them.
Did Stefanski address the whole safety issue on that first play? Did they not challenged? Was it challenged?
Ashley, you were down there, weren't you?
Yeah, no, he didn't challenge it. No.
I know he didn't challenge it, but I don't know if they even, hey, why didn't we challenge it? Or I heard there was a communication issue or something with that. That was a safety.
Well, because I wasn't in there. I wasn't in there for Stefanski's. I was in the locker room, so I didn't hear his part.
Okay.
But Myles Garrett 1,000% said that was a safety.
Well, yeah, it was.
Myles Garrett was like, that was a safety.
Ridiculous. I was texting Ashley because it's been on
We've been waiting.
It's been on my Browns bingo card all season long
for a safety.
That's been on my bingo card.
We're all in the press box like, safety, and nothing. They're like, second down.
I texted Ashley and I was like, that was a safety. That was a safety again. Where's my safety?
I'm not gonna lie. I was talking to my dad. I said, I don't think I know what a safety is anymore because I said, I'm so confused. What is a safety?
Credit him for challenging the 4 touchdown.
Yeah,
because that was real iffy.
It didn't look like it initially. Like it would have been a good challenge.
Really, really good challenge.
That's why they went on for that second one. They didn't get that second one, but
I
they
just couldn't believe that.
Good.
I go, wow, what a nice safety. Wait a minute, they're lining up again?
That had no business not being a safety.
Down there?
Quick sidebar. You've referenced this more than once. So normally there's that cheesy phrase on the internet, I didn't have that on my bingo card, and I'm kind of tired of those tweets. But apparently,
along with next man up.
Apparently, they're all in the column of hell. Leah apparently has an actual bingo card. I want this on the program sometime before the year's over.
No, I don't have an actual bingo card.
We need to get you a bingo card. Somebody made a bingo card of all my stupid phrases.
Wow,
we can get you a football bingo card.
I don't
For
even,
the rest of the season, let's do a bingo card.
I don't even remember how it got started, Ashley. Like my obsession with we have to have a safety. Oh, you know what I think it might have been?
I don't know where it started.
I think it might have started week 2 when they faced the Steelers, and we
wanted one there
and we
or
were like,
something.
we saw genuinely everything we could see in this game,
except for a safety.
but a safety.
That's
and
right.
I was like, we have seen it all, but I have not gotten my safety. So when are we going to see a safety? And then it started as a thing, and I thought we did have it, but. I can't check it officially off the card because it wasn't
you got jobbed.
It wasn't ruled safety.
Yeah.
So here's something. We had 2 weeks ago, we were talking about this, the next 2 games, Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Had to win in Baltimore to stay relevant in the North. Got us beat Pittsburgh to stay relevant in the wild card and potentially the North. They actually do not the unthinkable, but something a lot of people didn't think they do, is win both games. And it feels a little deflated because of the quarterback situation. I feel like such a Debbie Downer pointing this out. But am I right? Like, they win them both, and it's like, yeah, but...
Yes, because you don't know what you're going to get from DTR. Yeah. And even though he played pretty good, I won't say he killed it, but he wasn't playing that well until that last quarter.
Second half was
I mean?
bad.
Yeah, it was. Luckily, he did what he needed to do when he won. I mean, to win the game. But it's just you don't know what you're getting from him, and that's the problem. You're in the unknown offensively every game. And that many drops from Njoku was scary because I'm like, it's like the second straight game, dude. You gotta figure it out.
Drop. He dropped a lot in his first couple of years here, and then he seemed to have got better at it. But boy, he was bad yesterday.
And he's just physically so talented, and he gives you so much.
Because when he catches that thing, he runs with it. He can pick up another 5 yards.
Remember the Baltimore game? I mean, he carried half the Ravens down the field. Yeah. I'm surprised. I thought we would see a lot more design quarterback runs yesterday. We didn't see many of them.
Get him outside a little bit.
I would bet we'll see that more in Denver is my thinking. But we'll see. Again, play to his strengths, right? I just can't imagine. I cannot imagine
I don't really
Joe
know
Flacco
what his strengths are, though.
Hey,
he's a mobile guy.
What he did against the Browns last year, Joe Flacco.
Yeah. I just can't imagine him on this team. You're right. He won the Jets game.
That is
I'm
He's a
curious.
statue back there.
So at what point, like, what does DTR have to do wrong in the Broncos game, and how early would you potentially pull him? Like, what do you have to see from him to where maybe?
I don't think Flacco can play next week. He's
not okay.
Well, I'm sure he'll be available, but I think a lot would have to go wrong for. I mean, he hasn't.
That's what I'm wondering.
He hasn't learned the offense. He's been on the couch for how long? I would be shocked if he played in the game, but that's why when our true false to start the show, I said before Christmas, that gets you actually 5 more Sundays. And now we could be in the conversation. But for DTR, I think if it starts to pile up where it's like they cannot throw downfield. I get it yesterday because you need that ball out because TJ Watt is a game wrecker as Myles Garrett is, and you do not want this rookie quarterback with that dude staring down on him and that's disaster staring you in the face. But you can't do that every week.
I don't think I really agree with the Flacco thing. This guy's 38.
You think he could come in pretty quick?
Yeah, he's a veteran in the league. He knows at this point he knows how to understand new offenses and
he's learned a lot of them.
Switch. Yeah, like he knows how to do that. Now the in shape part, I don't know. Of course, we have no idea technically where he is. But I'm just saying, like, if we're going to talk about what could possibly come, he's also getting this entire week, to get ready for Denver. So, and first of all, they already knew they were signing him. We just found out about it. He already knew that, and they probably already gave him a dang
last week, right? Even
playbook.
Before.
Right, he had already knew that. We find out the stuff, to me, I always say a week or two later, because they've already had this in the mix. I think that when Andrew Berry talked to us, he had already called Flacco at that point, because Flacco was there the next freaking day, damn near.
You guys think at all they jumped on Flacco to beat the Bengals to the punch? Because clearly now Cincinnati needs a guy.
I don't know if their motive necessarily was to beat Cincinnati. I think it was them we have to move as quick as we can because now we don't have Deshaun Watson.
The Bengals are really on the outside looking in here. I mean, they have
a lot of problems.
The 3 in the division, right? I mean, they're down the list. Hey, I do, before I go, want to give a forecast for the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Give us the goods in Denver.
Like. Tell us.
So, we love the weather yesterday here, right? 48, sunny. So sunny and take about 15 degrees off in Denver.
Okay.
Mid-30s.
Mid-30s, no snow?
But dry, sunshine, typical late November Rocky Mountain weather.
Yeah.
So yeah, no real weather issues, a little breezy, but just cold and dry with sunny skies.
You know what? The way you said that, it sounds so meteorologist-ish.
Well, that's what he is.
You know what I mean?
Like,
whoa,
you should consider that as a future.
Hang up the sports hat and
Whoa,
go back to your weather office.
You just sound
you have so many tools in your tool belt. You can switch that to the forecast,
cool.
and then you can jump right in on the pod and talk sports like anybody else.
Look, and by the way, I was not equally, but also very happy with the way the Cavs played last night against the world champions without Donovan Mitchell. I don't know what happened there last night, but that was a great way to cap off another banner weekend in Cleveland sports. Last weekend, we won in Baltimore. The Cavs beat the Warriors last weekend. This weekend, we beat the world champion Nuggets, and
you got Miami coming on Wednesday.
It's been a good time.
Next weekend, beat the scumbags up north.
Exactly.
And then beat Denver.
I'm excited about that. Well, thank you so much, Jason,
Thank you,
for
guys.
joining us.
Come back, Jason.
Anytime,
come back.
You're welcome.
Are we invited on the weather podcast?
anytime.
There we go.
If you need me to do a 7-day, just let me know. Let me know.
What you wish for?
You bring it up. Go ahead.
I will say, we were talking about, Ashley was talking about how in shape Joe Flacco is or isn't. Kevin Stefanski did speak a little bit to that in his press conference on Monday.
Yeah, and the workout looks good. Kept himself in good shape. Fit. As you know, Scott, that there's different guys have different skill sets and those type of thing. But just a guy that has seen a lot, has played in different systems. Feel like he can bring value to that room.
I agree. I think he's going to bring good value in the sense that whether or not he starts, how soon he starts, what have you, I do think we'll see him maybe sooner rather than later. To have a veteran voice, I think he can still play. I think it's your best option.
I like the veteran voice angle of this only because with Deshaun getting his surgery, he's going to go away. Like, Deshaun could be that guy for DTR, but if he's getting he's going to be doing his own thing.
Yeah.
So this brings a guy in the room. I don't want PJ Walker as the veteran
Being
voice.
the guy.
Yeah, I just don't. So, sometimes I think that just sounds good, and sometimes it doesn't mean a lot. But I think in this case it might, because DTR. I mean, he's a wide-eyed rookie. He hasn't started a lot. Flacco's seen a lot. So, we're gonna do some Thanksgiving stuff. Are you guys ready to move on?
Also, injury update. Do we want to talk about that?
We should talk about
Rodney
that.
McLeod out for the season. He's got a surgery on his bicep.
Torn bicep.
Yeah.
And you obviously could see, especially we saw it from the sideline up top, and you could also see it from TV. You could tell he was in a lot of pain when he walked back to the locker room, and he was holding, it looked like he, at the time, was holding his arm, but maybe that was the whole, what did Jameis Winston say? Your wrists are connected to your arms, and your arms connected to your feet.
You sent me that one Sunday.
It's so funny. I love that. But, obviously he was holding something to help that pec out or wherever, bicep, whatever the body is connected to.
He was playing for Thornhill. We still don't know when he's going to be back.
Yeah, and he's still out with a calf injury. So, I mean, now they're on their third man up.
And then Anthony Walker Jr., Stefanski just said day-to-day with that hamstring injury, which,
That's probably best case.
And he went out pretty early. He went out early in that game.
Taki then played pretty well, took over the green dot, I believe, there. And hopefully Walker's back soon. He's a big part of what they do. And they missed him all last year. hamstring, that's day to day, week to week. That's probably about what it is.
You have to be careful with that hamstring, man. You have to give it time to heal for sure. Because if not, you go back out there, then you completely pull it. It's a whole different situation. Like, it is not fun. I've done that, and it's just, you got to be. It's a big part of running, because your legs are connected to your quads, and your quads are
connected to the wrists, and
science lesson.
Quads are connected to the wrists.
I forget the word that he said. We're all something. I don't know what he said.
Kevin Stefanski and Greg Newsome spoke a little bit today just about the loss of losing Rodney McLeod for the rest of the season.
I think you guys know how I feel about Rodney. Unbelievable leader for this football team. Has played really well for us. He's really a guy that I've gotten to know over this year, and Coach Schwartz had a history with Rod, and a bunch of guys, knew Rod prior to this season. But just watching that guy work, watching him in the meeting room, on the practice field, during the games, just amazing teammate. So that's, I feel for him. He'll get fixed up, and then he'll be back out here helping his teammates.
It really starts with the young guys like myself in the room, just observing and seeing how Rodney leads. And it's not going to just be one person to, fill his role. It'll be impossible for somebody to fill his role. But, as a collective group, everybody has to, find a way to chip in and become even more vocal leaders and everything like that. So it's not going to be an easy task for sure. But I think we got the right guys in the building to be able to fulfill.
I think in that case, they're going to say that, but they do have a lot of veterans already on defense. Ward's played. Newsom's in his third year. They should be okay.
I don't think, and I no offense, I'm not saying this in a negative way, but I don't think Rodney is like a make or break player at this point in his career, that if they lost, obviously losing him, that it's like, the defense is falling apart. Like, right. I don't think that. I think he very much so can be replaced, and I don't want to say that in a negative way, but he's going to be 34, which is young outside of football, but in football they look at that like you've got a cane, which is just insane. But young guy, but just saying, like dog years in football.
What I'd give to be 34 again. Not that you two would know at all.
Not yet.
At all.
No rush on that.
All right, so gobble gobble. It is Thanksgiving week here in the United States, and that's a fantastic week. It is an entire holiday dedicated to basically family and eating.
And football.
I mean, that is a tremendous day.
Doesn't get more American than that.
Not
eating,
really.
Stuffing your face, laying on the couch, watching football. It's my type of holiday.
All right, so we're going to do best worst as far as items on the table. Best worst items on the table. Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
All right, what do you got?
There's so many good ones.
I know, that's the challenge, is getting it down to one.
I think green bean casserole is probably my favorite.
Wow, that's basic.
But I love. What do you want me to say? What do you mean? I love ham.
That's basic.
I love ham. I absolutely love anything smothered in gravy. So rolls and gravy is my all-time favorite. I love green bean casserole. What else? Okay. Anything you could. Ham's basic. Mac and cheese is basic. Anything I would say would be basic.
I think I spiked her.
What do you mean? And then my least favorite is any type of cranberry dish. Those are just...
Yeah, I don't eat that.
My family's going to be sad, but they're just gross. And we have a recipe that's been in our family for forever. And our family makes it every single year. And I'm sorry, Mom, but it barely gets touched. It's just not very good. I just don't really like stuff that has cranberries in it. So that one's always a pass on the plate for me.
What about you, Ash?
I'm soul food all day. I'm yams. Candied yams. Ham, turkey, mac and cheese. Like she said,
but
smothered.
That's not basic. It's not
but
basic.
Here's the thing: it's a lot of seasoning in there too. Like I don't play that, basic mac and chease. Like
what do you put in your mac and cheese?
Well, first of all, if you making mac and cheese with
how many kinds of
cheese out of at least like 4.
Yeah,
if you're making cheese out of a bag, I'm not eating it. That's just
like
crazy.
A Velveeta, something. Yeah, right.
The look on Ashley's face.
Baby, don't invite me to your house if you're using Velveeta. Yeah. And if you even getting it out of the bag, like it's different. If you get out of the bag and you making a quick meal for the kids on a different day of Thanksgiving. Yeah, and you gotta shred the cheese. You gotta do it yourself. You're putting a lot of seasons when you're melting the cheese down and things like that. Yeah, like when I make my mac and cheese, it's a production. You know what I'm saying? And I just put out there like, black people don't play about their mac and cheese and things like that. We don't play about that. The soul food is for real. So like, it's.
Do you do breadcrumbs on top?
No.
No. Okay.
No, okay. I've never. Do you guys do that?
I've been to some places that they've done
I've never
it before.
had that. I've had breadcrumbs on top of well, they're not really breadcrumbs, but they on like the stuffing or whoever if you guys call them stuffing or dressing, whatever you call it.
I
love stuffing, and I love it with gravy on it.
Like a lot of people hate stuffing, which I don't understand.
I don't get that.
Love stuffing.
with gravy on it is so freaking delicious.
So good.
Yeah, you got to have your cornbread too. I mean, I like rolls too, but I love having cornbread. But green bean casserole is good too, though. Depending
It's
like
not
just
bad.
season all that stuff on it, and you let it marinate or what. Ooh, it's delicious. And people make green beans different ways. So like, and I'm not a fan of green beans at all. But for some reason, when it like, Thanksgiving comes around, I can eat that. Yeah.
You'll crush.
So I ate all that food, like 3 plates, whatever. And that was the day that I could not feel one of the twins moving. And I wasn't sure because I was so stuffed and I went into labor. So every Thanksgiving.
Because they're born right around Thanksgiving.
Well, it was after midnight. So that's why I got the next day. But I went into quote unquote labor because I had a C-section. So you don't really technically go labor.
Right.
But I was admitted to the hospital on Thanksgiving.
You ate the kids into birth?
And I had just worked the game, yeah. And I had
my
worked the game
gosh.
because the Bills played the Saints.
I
Wow.
don't know how you did that. Okay, what's your least favorite?
Cranberry.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't understand the whole cranberry thing. I wish I did because sometimes I want to try it, but I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And then, here's another one. I like it, but I like it on 4th of July, not on Thanksgiving potato salad. But I don't like it
I didn't even know that was a
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving side.
I didn't know that
But
either.
some people do bring potato salad and stuff like that, but I mostly will eat that on like 4th of July cookout and stuff like that.
I'll also say I'm not a big pie person.
Yeah, me either. I don't do pies.
You don't like cake either, do you?
No, I don't like icing.
Oh, no, I do love cake.
Pie's fine, but I would never ask for pie. Like I would never be
So then what do you
craving-
eat for dessert? Like, what do you like to eat for dessert then?
I mean, I don't do it for Thanksgiving, but I like ice cream. Ice cream's probably my favorite
Okay, so
dessert.
you don't eat
I don't
much
really,
of
I just don't
dessert.
really eat dessert on Thanksgiving.
It's hard to eat dessert anyways. Like
Yeah.
you have to
So
wait a while to
stuffed.
eat dessert.
Yeah, maybe
Oh,
just
see, I have to leave room because my favorite thing. My mom is an awesome cook. Her dressing is the best I've ever had. Stuffing,
and so
dressing.
you call it dressing?
Is your mom here?
Mom called it dressing. Yeah, she's in town.
So is she gonna make some?
yes,
Sorry about
she's
the
making.
So you
sirens.
should bring us.
So I don't know if
coming
I'll
to
get
get more.
enough.
I know.
Under arrest. Hers is fantastic. She makes sweet potatoes with bourbon in them. They are amazing. And still, my favorite thing to eat on Thanksgiving is pecan pie.
Yeah, that's my mom's favorite.
I just cannot get with the whole pie
That's
thing.
my
If I
mom's
try
favorite.
any pie, it would have to be the pumpkin. But
That's very good.
like outside, but like we're talking a couple bites. Like I like cheesecake a lot, so we tend to
yeah.
bring a couple
Yeah,
different
we've
cheesecakes.
actually done that before.
And you know
I
the
like
ones that have the
cheesecake.
swirl in them, that have like chocolate or raspberry. Like those are good too. But I can't really get down with the pie, and like the pecans are just sometimes they're kind of big on there.
My
they're fantastic.
dessert, if I'm not having a pie, it's just like, let's have a glass of wine, you know?
That's
After
your
dinner
dessert?
when I'm sitting
I'm not big with wine.
We will be drinking your dessert today.
I will watch whatever football game's on, sit on the couch, nice glass of wine, nice white.
I tend to really not watch that early game. I never make that 12 game.
Never, you just too
Not
busy.
really. I always hit. Well, at 12, I just don't want to be up watching the football game. I might hit like the
I'm
mid.
probably normally in the kitchen, like helping out the family at that point.
Yeah,
too.
like it's on, but you're not really watching it.
I am up for the parade though. I love me the Thanksgiving Day parade.
That's
I
your
love
jam?
watching
That's the
that.
Macy's one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Texas
I've never
Tech's
seen
band is performing in it. They just flew to New York today. So
Wow.
they'll be in
They'll
it.
enjoy their like 38 seconds on TV and then move on down
And I
the
will be
street.
cheering them on
Yes,
every
you will.
step of the way.
What do you call that? Guns
Wreck 'em.
out?
Guns
Wreck
up.
'em?
Guns up. Wreck 'em.
Guns up. All right.
Now we have a possum.
I was literally about
as
to
our
say
mascot.
guns out.
Guns
out.
That's-
Buns out, sons, guns out.
Happy Thanksgiving,
I don't know what I'm talking
everybody.
about.
Something like that. What Leah said. Eat
Happy
yourself
Thanksgiving.
into oblivion.
And have a glass of wine.
See you next week.